How's it going, everybody? Matt DeLuigi here for NBA Hangtime, your place for NBA all day, every day. And it's getting close to the NBA regular season finale, and that means that it's almost time for the NBA playoffs, the best time of year if you're an NBA fan. And this year's not going to disappoint. I can guarantee you that with the Western Conference setting up the way that it is, and the Eastern Conference as well seems to have a few contenders and a few question marks. And that's really what I want to focus on today is the Eastern Conference, and more specifically I want to focus on the top of the conference with Atlanta, Chicago, and Cleveland. Who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference is the big question that a lot of people are starting to ask themselves. And when you look at the Eastern Conference right now, it really is a toss-up. Obviously, Atlanta, great season, had a long winning streak in the middle of the year, secured the number one seed pretty easily, and everything that's going to happen in the Eastern Conference is pretty much going to have to go through Atlanta. But with that being said, there are some things that still scare me about that team. One being the fact that they don't have a lot of experience. Unlike the Chicago Bulls with guys like Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, Pau Gasol, these guys have been through multiple playoff battles year after year. Gasol has a championship, obviously, with the Lakers. And then Cleveland as well, LeBron James. 2 NBA titles, goes to the Eastern Conference, Eastern Conference Finals pretty much every single year, it seems like. But when you're going up against guys like that, veteran, proven players that have a lot of experience in the NBA playoffs, that just brings another dimension to the game, and that could ultimately be the deciding factor when you're looking at these teams. Now, Atlanta's still great talent, no doubt about it. They have an awesome starting lineup. They have an awesome coach in Mike Budenholzer, who could be the NBA Coach of the Year this season, I think deservingly so. And they've shown throughout the season that they can consistently play basketball at a high level. So by no means do you have to count Atlanta out. I just don't know if they're necessarily the favorite to win the Eastern Conference. And if they are, then it's not by a whole lot. I think that Cleveland, Chicago, and Atlanta are about even when you look at it. And really, I mean, I would rank it probably Atlanta, Chicago, and then Cleveland. Chicago I would rank second because they still have the players and the talent in place to win an NBA title. The only thing is they haven't been healthy this year. And obviously, Derrick Rose going out toward the end of the season really doesn't help either. But you got to believe that this team under Tom Thibodeau, who is resilient, could come back and possibly win 1-2 rounds in the NBA playoffs. And you never know what can happen from there. There's obviously a big question mark looming over the Chicago Bulls as to what they could be, because they've only shown it really in December of this season. Otherwise, they've been kind of a mediocre team, I'd say. They haven't really met expectations for this year. And then with Derrick Rose coming back, you don't know how their offense is going to play. You don't know if they're going to run through Derrick. You don't know if they're going to go through Jimmy Butler, Pau Gasol. Joakim Noah has played pretty well at the high post with Derrick Rose, or around the top of the arc with Derrick Rose out. So you wonder if they might go back to that on offense. Nikola Mirotic has come through pretty big for them late in the season. So it'll be interesting to see what Tom Thibodeau does with his lineups. So really the Bulls are a big question mark. And I think they could knock off Cleveland or Atlanta, or they could go out pretty early in the playoffs. It's just you don't really know what's going to happen. And then focusing on Cleveland specifically, we talked about the experience of LeBron James. Well, he's pretty much the only guy that has experience on that team that at least makes an impact on that team. And the other two guys, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, neither of them have been to the NBA playoffs. Neither of them know what it's like to be in the NBA playoffs with that experience, because the NBA playoffs is a completely different game than the regular season. Coaches prepare better, teams prepare better. People know your tendencies because they're playing you day after day after day. And for that reason as well, I don't know if Cleveland can win, because also David Blatt, being a first-year rookie head coach, you just don't think that he has that experience either. You're going to have to go up against guys like Tom Thibodeau, possibly guys like Eric Spoelstra with Miami Heat, who they could play in the first round, depending on how things shake up later in the season. But you're going to have to go up against some of these proven head coaches. And the last time the rookie head coach won the NBA title was 1987 with Pat Riley and the LA Lakers. So it doesn't happen very often. And I think David Blatt came into this season not really expected to be in the NBA playoffs, considering what his roster was like when he signed with the Cavs, and the fact that LeBron James is calling plays right now just isn't a good thing. You need that coach there to prepare because you know what? It's a battle on the sidelines just as much as it is on the court when you're talking NBA playoffs because these coaches have a chess match with one another, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So going back to just who might win the Eastern Conference, obviously there's a lot of question marks there. There's a lot of question marks with the Bulls. You don't know what the Atlanta Hawks are going to be able to do because they don't have that experience. And obviously the Cleveland Cavaliers have LeBron James, but pretty much nobody else. You don't really know how these guys are going to perform come playoff time. So right now I would give the edge to Atlanta, but a very slight edge. And then I would give it to Chicago, considering I think that Derrick Rose is going to come back. He won't be the best player, but I do think that the Bulls are going to find a way to work him back into the system as well as keep their offense efficient because it really wasn't under Derrick Rose the last couple games before he got injured. So I think that with Derrick Rose out, they now see what they could do, and I think it's going to come back, and it's going to help them. I don't know if they can win, but I give them an edge over Cleveland, who doesn't have an experienced head coach, and David Blatt, and they don't really have anybody outside LeBron James with playoff experience. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. NBA regular season is coming to an end. The playoffs are about to hit their stride, and you got to make sure to stay tuned to NBA Hangtime because we're going to have a lot of NBA news, a lot of stuff coming up on the site, and a lot of fun material. So for Matt DeLuigi, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun down the stretch. Thanks.